everyone, it's Star again, and I'm cutting right to the chase because I'm excited about this one. It's Marvel anime. Yeah, it's real, and I love it. So, I just want to dive right in. I'm talking about two movies today, Iron Man Rise of Technovore and Avengers Confidential Black Widow and the Punisher. Okay, so how did I even learn about the existence of these movies? Well, I'm always looking for more Marvel content, from the comics to the movies to the merchandise, and I discovered the Avengers manga, which is one of the best things I've ever read. It's set in the MCU, and I highly recommend it. But this is a cartoon channel, so let me get back on track. Anyway, my endless search for more Marvel, led me to Troy Baker's Behind the Voice Actor page. And I saw how he voiced the Archer in a movie called Rise of the Technovore. Looking further into it, I ordered it on Amazon, and I made my friends watch it before we went to see Infinity War in theaters. And let me tell you what a trip it was. I'll do my best to avoid spoilers, so if there are any, they'll be minor. First and foremost, Iron Man Rise of Technovore and Avengers Confidential Black Widow and Punisher are made by Madhouse! For those who don't know the weight of that name, they made One Punch Man, Hunter x Hunter, Wolf Children, and Paprika, a movie I studied in 2 different classes in my sophomore year of animation school. So right off the bat, you know this will have gorgeous visuals. Like Tony's beautiful lashes. No really, this whole movie is eye candy, every frame is a lovely little painting. First up, Iron Man Rise of the Technovore. I actually own this one, and from my research, that's the only way to watch this. Legally speaking, of course. I support the official release. The art is beautiful, as mentioned prior. There's some 3D mixed in, but nothing major. The fights are well paced and choreographed, and for the most part, Iron Man is completely hand-drawn. It only seems like unimportant parts he's 3D. The story is pretty standard. It's fine, but nothing groundbreaking. Even though it feels like it wanted to be groundbreaking, it wasn't. Again, not going into too many spoilers, Tony was about to launch a satellite, but was attacked by some unknown goons and a mysterious entity. Tony is forbidden by S.H.I.E.L.D. to go after this unknown entity, but he does anyway, which causes S.H.I.E.L.D. to send Black Widow and Hawkeye to hunt Tony, who enlists the help of the Punisher to help him find this mysterious entity. Alright, it's character time. I enjoyed pretty much everyone in this. The title character is good as always. He beats to the rhythm of his own drum, and that's very much on character. Technovore is actually not an original idea for this movie, but they certainly interpreted the idea differently. Technovore has appeared in the comics and even Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Hawkeye, Black Widow, Rhodey, Fury, and Pepper are all on character and enjoyable. I don't know enough about the Punisher to know if he's on character, but he seems like it. From what I know, he's edgy. He stays on character for what is shown in the movie. The identities of the 2 antagonists are spoilers, so I don't want to ruin an actual twist. It was a really good one, and it took me and my friends off guard. I really enjoyed this movie. The small amount of comedy was fun, and got a couple real chuckles out of me. Tony, as always, is the star of the show, and brings his A-game here too. He's enjoyable the whole time. Of course, Hawkeye was good the whole time he was there, but I'm 100% biased on that. I'm kind of amazed how on character everyone is. They're closest to their MCU counterparts, but they actually have an in-movie reason for that. Characters like the Punisher, they couldn't use the movies because he's not in the movies, nor was the Netflix show out yet. He's based off the comic version, I suppose. I've only read about 1 comic where he was in, and he was only in it for 1 issue. My friends and I have made in-jokes from this movie that we still reference to this day. I've watched this movie twice, and I enjoyed it both times. Okay, on to Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and the Punisher, which I didn't enjoy nearly as much as Technovore. A quick disclaimer though, I'm a firm believer in your enjoyment of media is largely based on the ones you watch it with. Technovore's story was pretty bad, but my friends and I made fun of it the whole time, and I like it because of that. Even if I did watch it the second time and still enjoyed it just as much. I was still thinking about my friends the whole time. I watched Avengers Confidential alone, so I saw the flaws more easily. First off, the art is a lot less appealing than Technovore's. Also, there's a lot more 3D in it, and it feels unnecessary in some places. There's this one shot where there's a camera, and the camera is 3D, for no reason. And okay, it wasn't hard to miss how Black Widow was treated in this movie. It was definitely uncomfortable at times. She is a temptress, but it's just too much in this, and even goes beyond most anime stereotypes. Not even Technovore had this much quote-unquote fan service. There's a cute dog fox thing though, so that's a plus, right? It's cute. Let's talk characters again. And I don't like any of them. Except for Fury, Hill, and the cameos. So Widow has this romance subplot with this random guy that's introduced to give a little plot, but I don't think it was necessary, and it really took me out of the film. Natasha doesn't do love. All of her romances in the comics were brief, and they were more complicated than she was just with someone. The closest she got to a standard relationship was with Cap, and she had a kid with him. But that wasn't even in the 616. Overall, she seems out of character, almost like a damsel in distress at some points. Amadeus Jo is in this. People who've only watched the MCU would know his mom, but he's actually a bigger character in the comics nowadays. Anyway, in this movie, he's an annoying, whiny kid who Widow seduces to get what she needs. And he's my least favorite thing about this movie. But he has the cute fox dog thing. Punisher is broody, but as I mentioned, I don't know a lot about his character, but it seems like this is a more edgy take on him. Elias is Widow's ex, and from what I can tell, he was made for this movie. He remains his two-dimensional self throughout the whole movie, and his motives are dumb. Fury is very out in character. He keeps all of his secrets. All the other characters are kind of considered cameos, so they don't have much to work with. It's even hard to say Fury is an actual character in this movie, but he has more than 2 lines, so I think that counts. The plot is pretty cut and dry. A few twists and turns, but nothing major like in Technovore. Widow and Punisher are working together to stop a black market weapons trade, and things get more complicated as they investigate further. Punisher has his own reasons for working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and doesn't work well with others. His interests are counteracting Widow's, who just wants to complete her mission for S.H.I.E.L.D. The whole time I was wondering why the evil organization wasn't Hydra or AIM or a previously established comic evil organization. It was an original group for this movie, and I can't recall the name for the life of me. I don't even know if it was mentioned. I just remember their logo was like a pie symbol. Not the food pie, the number pie. The ending was dumb. The movie isn't that long, just under an hour and a half, so I can't say much more without revealing any more of the plot. I did enjoy the cameos, however brief. They were all nice. Bonus points for my boy Hawkeye, but minus a couple because he looks terrible. So if you could only watch one of these movies, I'd recommend Technovore. But again, there might be some bias. It's more fun than Avengers Confidential. There isn't a bad romance subplot. Seriously, that ruined the movie for me. That, and how Widow was positioned in every single frame. There was definitely more ups than downs in Technovore. Both of their stories are pretty on par with each other, but the art, design, and characters are all better in Technovore. Avengers Confidential feels like it was trying so hard to be edgy and mature. Technovore was just an animated Avengers movie that was made in Japan. A lot of people were saying how Avengers Assemble is bad just because it was made for kids, but watching Black Widow and the Punisher made me realize a mature Avengers wouldn't be as good as people think. The MCU tackles a lot of mature content, but it's still viewable for kids. In Rise of the Technovore, everything was fun except when it tried to be very heavy and deep, because it just didn't come across that well. So that's some Avengers anime. There's actually a lot more, but they're not connected like these two movies are. They're in the same universe even though they don't really reference each other. I might watch the actual Avengers anime cartoon, but I don't know where to find it right now. I'm gonna have to do some more research. Also, it looks really bad, so I want to not watch that alone. If it's anything like Avengers Mangaverse, which is its own subset of comics, not connected to that manga I showed earlier, it's gonna be bad. It's like really bad. Captain America's costume is literally just a football player in that. It's terrible. Someone's ahead. I think Tony's ahead, if I remember correctly. By that, I mean he's just a head in a jar. It's not good looking at all. Anyway, that's just me rambling about more Marvel content. Have a nice day.